I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, this will be well worth the wait here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that our guest has built and now comes to return to, let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, hold full serve and tell us why his opponents are going down that highway to hell. And one opponent, particularly, may never come back, and especially after what he told us. We'll talk about that. But we'll also talk about the opportunity that no one's really focused on is that our guest on his platform can not only walk out here of the IMF on December 31st with his undisputed championship, but now also a United States championship. And he could be a double champion in his own right and walk away with a two for the price of one. We'll get into that. We'll also, though, talk about that guy Anthony Steele in those comments, which everybody's still scratching their heads and what happened there, what's true and what's not. But really, talking about these last 10 months, and everybody has said that our guest has changed. Everybody has said that the man who built this platform, he's not the same man, but really, it's the people around him that have changed. It's the people around him that have shown who they are. And maybe one of those names we're going to bring up who's back here tomorrow, who's seeing things that months ago this man on his platform talked about. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about this Anthony Steele guy trying to beat this man on his platform in his own game by now talking about going to another promotion with his championship. Yeah, I don't think our guest is going to like that too much. We'll also talk about mind games. We'll talk about this 10-month run, which has seen this man on his platform obliterate opponent after opponent. Those even outside the IMF, those who have held championships with millions of subscribers, and those who have done plenty in the pros. We'll get into that. But we'll also talk about the truth. We'll talk about the truth that will set you free. Because look at the advice that this man has given to a number of individuals. And that's why we'll find out exactly why the house always wins. And nothing's going to change this Saturday. We'll get into that. But I also have a surprise for our guest tonight, back home on his platform. And no, it's not Anthony Steele. He had enough time on Saturday's show. As a matter of fact, he had so much time that he couldn't even figure out what to say during various points of the show. So yeah, he got his contractually obligated appearance on Sportswire. You'll see him if he survives after Highway to Hell. So that won't be the surprise for our guest. But it is now time, for the first time in a very long time, to make sure the greatest underground champion right now currently gets that introduction for the platform that he helped build, the platform that he helped and allowed the original and only voice of Saliva last week, Josie Scott, to come on here. Because after all, the mood that this man has been in the last 10 months, he could have told Mr. Scott, nah, don't come on here. Nah, don't come on Sportswire. This isn't your platform. This isn't your house. He could have told him that, but he was gentlemanly like, in a way that maybe our opponents and others, maybe they've got it all wrong, and he allowed Mr. Scott to come on here. But enough of those pageantries, enough about that. The chat's here, and this man wants to say a lot, because this is the first time in a very long time, much longer, too longer than a New York Minute, that he gets to come on here and kick things off for us, and especially on that road, now less than 72 hours, to another sold-out show here in the IMF in the Palo Community Center, Highway to Hell. But in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joliet, let's get rocked and start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, sports show. A man that is currently the greatest underground champion of this generation. The man that helped build Sportswire Radio into what it is today. On his platform, he is the leader of the House of Wolves, and he is the reigning, defending IMF undisputed champion. His name is simply put the Boogeyman of the Midwest, the hardcore god. Omen Black! The champ is here on his platform. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you tonight? Great intro. Couldn't have said it better myself. I wish I did.
Well, you're going to say a lot probably to remind us on some of those things. And it's great that you've allowed
How
me
are you, though? How are you, Tom?
The fact that you've allowed me to continue on this platform and allow Josie Scott last Monday to come on to Sportswire Radio, that is obviously much appreciated. And I can tell you that Mr. Scott's management wants to extend a personal thank you to you as well as Mr. Jeff Tate's management for allowing us to have on his guitarist, the only man that was the vocalist, the true vocalist of Queensryche the next day, Mr. Kieran Roberts and his guitarist. So obviously Mr. Tate's management and Mr. Scott's management would like to extend a personal thank you for allowing their talents to come onto your platform and grace their presence.
I like to send them a thanks, too, for coming onto my platform. You know what, Tom, I've been seeing what you've been doing with the show the past couple of months. I mean, I've not been in the chats every show, but I'm very proud of you that you've had all these A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities on Sportswire Radio. You know, with all music matters, some wrestling matters, but
well, at least you said all music, you know, because we really want to keep the gravy train going with those musicians. So at least you said that.
Perfect.
But obviously, enough about those pageantries.
But
most
can
certainly
I make one correction, Tom?
You can say anything you want.
I loved the intro. It was perfect.
Yes.
Chef's kiss. If I can give you a little tweak, though, you did mess up on one thing.
You can say anything you want.
I can walk out this Saturday with 2 belts. That's fine. But I'm already showing up with 2 or 3 belts. I have both IMF World Heavyweight titles, and I'm holding hostage the IMF Hardcore title because God knows I'm the one who deserves to hold it.
Well,
I'm the greatest IMF Hardcore champion. Damien who? Ox who? Let's forget about it because it's only about Omen Black.
Well, you know what? I mean, listen, there's a lot of blacks out there that have last names in the wrestling world. And on top of that, I am reminded of the Seven Dust song Black. But I'm not going to get into any of that. And yeah, you could have as many championships as you want, as your heart desires. Enough about that. Let's get into, though, what's ahead this Saturday, because we heard plenty from Anthony Steele. So I want to give you the opportunity, even though you were here on your platform, you came on for quite a bit on Sunday, but it's now time, because it's the first time in too long that you've been here to kick things off. So for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage on your platform, set the tables on why not only are you going to walk out as the IMF undisputed champion, but now also the IMF United States champion.
It's a double win for me, Tom. Really, when I beat Drago, take his U.S. title, I'm also beating Anthony Steele as well. So I get the title of the United States title of the IMF. Also, I get the title of knowing that I put just a little bit of damage into that ego you called Anthony Steele.
Yeah. That's interesting that you said that on Anthony Steele and his ego, because one of the things I thought was fascinating on Sunday's show was almost this belief on if Anthony Steele is really injured. You know, the news was that he's got an announcement for an MRI coming. He will be in action this Saturday. He's then talked about taking his talents home to Illinois, to Foundry Pro Wrestling. And I guess then with it comes to the ego of Anthony Steele, not only you seem skeptical about this MRI injury, and also the final chief, Il Drago, the one and only United States champion for now, also seemed to be skeptical of Anthony Steele and his first of 2 announcements here on Sunday's show.
Tom, how can me and Drago not be skeptical of Anthony's injury? He legit came on this show the other night talking about, oh, I'm hurt. I'm getting an MRI. Surgery's coming soon. Blah, 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 blah. And then he gets introduced to the element of me and Il Drago. And now, all of a sudden, oh, by the way, guys, I got an MRI coming. But hey, I'm also going to debut at the Foundry in Illinois.
Right.
Which one is it? Which one is it, Anthony? Are you hurt or are you going to debut somewhere else? Which one is it? Because you're kind of taking someone's shtick in probably AEW right now, like Cope. You're also taking a bunch of this course has been played out so many times, Tom, in history. And see, of course, Anthony Steele's got to take him from someone else. He's got to steal everything he does from someone else. Hell, he stole James Taylor's spotlight the other night when James was on. You know what, James?
You know what?
One more match. And by the way, tag team partners, me and you, let's do it. Let's go for the gold.
I was shocked as much as you were about that, by the way, because we knew that Anthony Steele and James Taylor, they had such a rocky history, and they weren't on speaking terms, at least from what I had heard, for several months. And then all of a sudden, Anthony Steele not only came on in James's spot, but was rather giving him advice, that it was almost a rather humble Anthony Steele, and it almost made you wonder, was there a motive behind it? And yeah, I was as puzzled as anybody else is on Saturday when Anthony showed up and gave James un-Anthony-like advice.
Of course there's motive behind it, Tom. It's Anthony Steele we're talking about.
Yeah.
He has to leech and latch on to someone else's relevancy. Look at James Taylor. He's killing it in Omega Championship Wrestling, whatever it's called.
OCW, yeah.
OCW, look at him. He's killing it right now. And, of course, Anthony has to – he sees the spotlight. He's like –
he talked about, I've been to Mississippi before, I've lived there, and I held gold before, and I could just walk in there. And he was telling James, you better go win that championship. So, in a way, tying it back to you, so what you're telling me and everybody else right now in this chat, that Anthony is basically trying to copy with what you want to do come December 31st, which is walk out with the IMF Undisputed Championships, the United States Championship, and if you want to throw it out there, the Hardcore Championship. And that's exactly what Anthony wants to do. He wants to walk out of the IMF and go somewhere else as a champion, basically what you want to do.
That sounds all great to me, but that's not really what I want to do. Yeah, the titles are a key point to my plan, but really what I want to do, Tom, I want to kill a company. I want to kill a company that I helped create, that no one appreciates. They think they just come in here and wrestle, do whatever they want. That's fine. But when I walk out with all the gold, what's there going to be to compete for, Tom? A Midwest title that JoJo Jackson is barely defending in good graces. Let's talk about the tag titles.
Oh, great.
Enough said.
Well, great segue, because tomorrow night, I know it is your platform, but we're going to hear from those tag team champions, Justin Parsley, a man I'm sure we'll talk plenty about in a little while, and Soldier GP, but I won't get you started on him. And a guy that's in here right now in this chat that I almost feel like from months ago, you said things that are now coming to fruition in Sean Jovi, and the man that you took the IMF Championship from back in Winter Clash 2024, Mephisto. Yeah, we're going to hear from those real monsters and the rock stars of the galaxy. We're going to hear from them tomorrow night about those tag team championships. So, yeah, that'll be left, and they'll, I'm sure, fight for that quite a bit.
Anthony Steele might as well just be in the foundation at this point, because all of them latch on to each other and other people's success. Look at, like, I want to go back to what I was saying. When I leave all the gold, what's it going to compete for? Oh, the Midwest tag titles. what's the world title going to be? This urn that Soldier GP and Jason Storm are battling about? How about we talk about the one gold that no one cares about? Luckily, Kyle Kepler got it, and now someone cares about it. Everyone cares about it now. Weird. Good job, Kyle. I'm rooting for you, Kyle. I'm happy with everything you've been saying about IMF because I feel the same way.
You know what? I'm not going to go down that road. We wish everybody luck, and I know that Kyle has got that All Wrestling Matters Championship, and he's doing the best he can with it. And you've obviously done the best that you can with the IMF United States Championship, but the World Championship, and you want the United States Championship. But I guess then going back to Anthony Steele, I want to touch upon El Drago in a few minutes. So really, Anthony Steele is basically leached off the opportunity that you gave him all those months ago. You gave him this opportunity to join the house. Now, he talked about he knew about the house and he was going to take it down within. But really, you were the one that gave Anthony Steele an opportunity because, as you've pointed out, Anthony Steele's track record in promotions, Anthony Steele's track record almost anywhere he goes, I mean, it's not too good. I mean, you talked about Kaplan, but in some ways, Steele's track record might have been worse than any other name that's been thrown out there over the years. But yet you gave him an opportunity. You gave him a helping hand. You gave him that chance to earn his spot in the IMF. You gave him that chance to earn that spot to where he would be a top guy. And if you remember, he was supposed to have won Rumble in the Racket and not challenged you for that championship. And yet here we are. And boy, times have changed. And Anthony Steele really, he just bit the hand that fed him, which was you and the House of Wolves, the opportunity that you gave him of a lifetime 10 months ago.
You're exactly right, Tom. I just find it hilarious that Anthony Steele wants to sit here and claim that he knew all along. He knew all along about my plans with the house. He knew all along what was going to happen. I'm going to take down the house from the inside, guys.
He talked about that here. Yes, he did.
Anthony, it's so funny to hear you think that you're smart and you sound smart, but really, I'm like a worm tongue from Lord of the Rings. I'm going to whisper shit into your ear, make you think something, when really I'm just playing you along. I got you by the strings, my man. And that's exactly what I did until I didn't need you no more. And then guess what, Anthony? I cut the strings. I don't need you. I used you. Got what I wanted, and I used you. Just like Sean Jovi, just like Mephisto, El Drago, and now it's soon to be Anthony Steele and El Drago once again, and then two more schmucks after that, and then I'm gone. Done. IMF's done. When I leave, IMF is done. Let's be honest, they only show up for me and Felix Jones. Well, and when I'm gone, Felix Jones is next to follow.
That, you know what? And I was going to point out, because look at what you've done for Felix Jones. I mean, Felix Jones, by the way, the guy that pinned Anthony Steele last month, the guy, Felix Jones, that pinned Justin Parsley recently. Felix Jones has been on an amazing run, and Ace Christian found that out too. Remember that a few months ago?
Oh, and he beat CJ Black. He's beaten Cash Card. He's beaten Damian Saint. He's beaten top guys.
Absolutely.
He's also beaten Sean Jovi recently. Let's see. I just hope that Sean Jovi is going to open his eyes just like Anthony Steele after this Saturday. Because I already can tell Sean Jovi feels a certain way about Justin Parsley. We all see it. We all see the promos. I said that months ago to you, Jovi. I said that months to you that you're going to get sick and tired of being in Soldier GP shadow. Because I got sick of it. El Drago's sick of it. Justin Parsley's going to get sick of it too.
Well, you know, it's funny that you said that, though, on Sean Jovi. I do want to go to him, and then I want to come back to El Drago. But you and I were talking about this in that you said some things months ago before your match with Sean Jovi back in April. And you said eventually that he would be put to the back burner. Eventually, he would be pushed to the side. Eventually, he would be that shiny object that would be put on the shelf. And that's kind of what's happened here. So, in a way, without not even realizing it, maybe, just maybe, Omen Black, you gave Sean Jovi a helping hand, and maybe it took him too long, but is he potentially starting to see the light? Because there is now this whole talk of, is Sean Jovi just jealous of everything that Justin Parsley has done? He's become that guy for Soldier GP, and I ask, I guess it all goes back to months ago what you originally said to the resident rock star.
You're absolutely right, Tom. And you know what? Jovi has every right to be jealous because look at him. How did Justin Parsley and Soldier GP win those tag titles? Because they didn't pin Jason. They didn't pin Jordan. Who did they pin? Soldier GP had to pin Sean Jovi.
He did. And Parsley showed that footage, by the way. Showed that on his most recent reel, which he's going to talk about the Hall of Fame monitor here tomorrow night. He's going to talk about that. That's a good point. And that was a point that Soldier and Justin reminded Jovi about. Reminded him about on social media.
Absolutely, Tom. You know what? I just hope that Sean Jovi will thank me one day because I opened his eyes. I used to say that a lot on this podcast, Tom. Open your eyes, Jovi. Open your eyes, Drago. And now they're finally opening their eyes.
Well, I will go back to Jovi later. He's going to be here tomorrow night, but that's one thing. But let's talk about the third man in this match that you're facing. It's not just
Roman
you.
Reigns?
No, but he has the potential. He talked about that. I'm glad that you did partially segue into that. In Il Drago, who he wants to be the final chief. He wants to be a double champion in his own right. And you and him kind of had this back and forth where there was some agreement on certain things when it came to Anthony Steele. But he's the guy, though, that has an opportunity because he's fighting for something more than just winning another title or keeping his own. He's fighting for his family and he's fighting for his heritage. That might make him, in a way, more dangerous than Steele. And you've been in the ring with Il Drago much more recently than Anthony Steele. So in a way, coming up this Saturday, less than 72 hours from now, maybe the guy that you need to be focused on more isn't Anthony Steele, the one-time most controversial figure in wrestling history, as Sean Jovi calls him, the real Mil Kameth. No, it's Il Drago, because Il Drago's got a gold, and on top of that, he's fighting for so much more.
Is he, though, Tom? Let's think about it. Is Drago really fighting for more than just gold?
Well, he's fighting for his heritage. He's talking about his legacy. He wants to cement that.
But he's done that before, Tom. He's done that. He's made those claims before, and every time he's made those claims, Tom.
But there's a world championship on the line now, and there's a possibility to be a double champion.
Perhaps. But did he not fight for the world title not once but twice now?
Yes.
Now a third?
Well,
and
now
he's for his heritage.
Well, I'll tell you the difference. The difference also is that he's got somebody else in there that is still in the back of his mind on what he did to his family. And that's Anthony Steele. We know famously what he did to the Ulafalas. We know about what Anthony Steele said to Il Drago's other half, the Mrs. Kiera. We know what Anthony Steele had talked about month after month here and elsewhere about Il Drago. And deep down, you could see that Il Drago hasn't forgotten that. I even asked him that question 2 months ago. And I remember asking Drago that question, and there was still skepticism. And Steele, he apologized, but you've already talked about it, and most people will look at an Anthony Steele apology, and you know how it goes. I can finish the sentence.
It's like an asshole, Tom. Everyone's got one. Everyone apologizes at one point.
That's an Anthony Steele line. Everyone's got you-know-whats, and they got opinions.
Everyone's got a sob story.
That's another Anthony Steele line for you. That you know him better than anybody, but that's why Drago, it might be different this time because he's fighting someone who still, he can't shake, and deep down, he can't forgive.
How could he? You know, you want to sit here and claim, Tom, that Drago is his heritage, his culture. He's very proud, a very proud Samoan.
Yes, he is.
If I was Il Drago, gladly I'm not, but if let's say I was in this hypothetical situation, there's no chance in hell that I would have teamed up with him in All Out Warfare, and there's no chance in hell if I would have apologized for all the devious things Anthony Steele has done. There's no way.
For sure. No, listen, I think that's something that obviously people could understandably be skeptical of, and I think that that's certainly something we're going to see play out this Saturday. If you are here, go hit the sub button for the IMF. You can also follow them on Facebook if you want to buy a ticket, and also if you want to go out there and check out the IMF on Instagram, you can do that. And we're here on his platform, the IMF Undisputed Champion, also the IMF Hardcore Champion, Omen Black, the boogeyman of the Midwest, the hardcore god. And we have a lot to talk about here over the next hour or so. So obviously, I guess then Anthony Steele, you've talked about him, and we'll come back to him. But Il Drago, you're not concerned that maybe he could slip in here and take your championship?
Tom, a normal triple threat match, the champion has a disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Anyone can get pinned and lose the title.
Yep.
Tom, I set up the match this way. I took away the disadvantages. If they want to become world champion, they have to beat the world champion. Like, what did Ric Flair say? If you want to be the man, whoa, you got to beat the man.
Yep.
I'm not going to get beaten by Anthony Steele. I'm not going to get beaten by Il Drago. I'm going to walk in, IMF Undisputed Champion. I'm going to walk out, IMF Undisputed Champion and IMF United States Champion.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm curious on your thoughts, because I asked Anthony this question, and I didn't get a chance to ask you this when you were here Sunday. And let's say, for whatever reason, Anthony comes up short, doesn't take your title, but takes back his United States Championship, which also conversely, Anthony still had that in the back of his mind, and how Drago took that championship from him, cashing in on him, and Anthony had held that title longer than anybody else. He did that when you gave him that opportunity of a lifetime. And I had asked Anthony if he had felt, would that be a disappointment, especially considering how much he's talked about winning a world title and being the IMF world champion after the opportunities he's been given. And I ask you, do you think it'll be a disappointment? Let's say, hypothetically, if, let's say, Anthony Steele beats Il Drago and takes his United States champion after everything Anthony said. And I mean, what is your thoughts on that?
Anthony Steele wants to be world champion. If he pins Il Drago, guess what, buddy? You just go right back to the mid card where you belong. I mean, look at this, Tom. Look at this video. When I got a fake doctor's note telling everyone I'm not going to be there to compete, look how empty this place is. And this place would be just as empty or even more empty if Anthony Steele is champion. I've said it to Mephisto. I'm going to say it to Anthony Steele. You're not the world champion the IMF needs or deserves right now. I will be the final world champion. I'm not taking it from John Cena because last I checked, I started my farewell tour way before he even came back or became champion.
Well, you know what? That might be a point to compare and contrast, but there's something I want to go back to. Did you just say that Anthony Steele will further ruin the IMF if he wins the world championship because Anthony Steele's not going to put butts in the seat? But those fans were cheering Anthony Steele. They were loudly behind him. Are you implying that Anthony Steele can't draw as an IMF world champion?
I don't think he could draw back when he was in middle school or elementary school, Tom.
Well, I wouldn't
let alone draw tickets, draw seats, put asses in seats, Tom. Tom, he wants to claim to be this professional indie wrestler. Indie darling.
He has his own custom ring gear.
Indie darling.
He has, yeah.
But he's still dressed like a backyarder, talks like a backyarder, works like a backyarder. Now, does that sound like a professional indie darling like he claims to be?
I mean,
I'll answer for you, Tom. It does not.
I'm not going to go necessarily and compare.
I hold myself up at a higher standard than everyone here in this locker room because I have to be, because I'm.
Well, you're saying that Anthony really can't win the faith of the locker room. He can't win over his peers and colleagues. You're a leader, whether people like you or not. You're a man that stands on your 2 feet. You've got convictions. Are you saying that Anthony Steele, that the IMF locker room, that they would have no faith in him as champion, and that would even be worse for the IMF as champion? Is that what you're trying to imply here right now?
Tom, I heard audible gasp and laugh when he said he's going to be IMF world champion when he challenged me. That just shows that the fans don't believe in him. Yeah, U.S. champion. Yeah, you're good, Anthony. We can see that. It's done. You've done it. World champion, though. I want to slow down your.
So what you're saying then for Anthony, this will be a failure this Saturday if he beats Il Drago and wins back his United States championship. So that's a failure for Anthony still, even though he's walking away with gold. It has to be considered a failure for Anthony
Is it
Steele.
the gold
That's what you're basically saying.
Because if he doesn't pin me, he's a liar then, Tom. Because he's told everyone he's going to beat me and take my world title. And if he doesn't beat me, does that make him a liar?
Well, that would be a question you'd have to ask him. But what I think you're telling me is the answer to my question is that Anthony Steele would be considered a failure if he walks out empty-handed with your championship, but rather Il Drago's championship. And that for Anthony Steele, he's got to go back to the drawing board, and who would have any faith in him? It's almost right now, everything you've talked about tonight with Anthony, and we thank the ads for playing, is that he's almost like the boy that cried wolf. The boy that cried wolf with his injury, the boy that cried wolf in taking your world championship. And if he takes Il Drago's championship, or, well, comes out empty-handed regardless, then he really is that definition of the boy who cried wolf, because everything he said is the complete opposite.
That's a wonderful way to put it, Tom. Yeah, you're right. He is the boy who cries wolf, because I guarantee when he fails, Tom, he'll have some reason why he failed. He's not going to take ownership of his failure. No, because that's not the Anthony Steele way. When I fail, it's someone else's fault. When I succeed, though, as Anthony Steele, it's mine. I did it all by myself, no help, when he's had help many, many times before.
So that's also why in this match you're having coming up this Saturday, that Il Drago can't trust Anthony Steele. Il Drago can't look at Steele and say, yeah, that guy's a friend. That guy I can team up with, because there's also, you brought it up. It's a triple threat match. Steele and Drago could theoretically team up against you and maybe figure out how to just eliminate you in the match, and maybe they can decide, flip a coin, and who gets the pin. But no, they're not going to do that, because Steele is the one that won't end up in that end of the bargain that he would like to hold. That's what it comes down to, because on paper, this path for them should be to take you down, take you out, and then figure out, maybe we both could pin you and figure out who gets control of the championship. If they really care about the fans. Anthony has talked about his love of the fans now. He talked about what it meant to him for the fans to cheer him. We know what Drago has said time and time again here and elsewhere about the fans. And if they cared about the fans, then they would do everything in their power to work together to eliminate you and eliminate the prospect of you walking out of the IMF on December 31st as the undisputed champion. But because of Steele, that possibility won't exist.
Oh, absolutely will not exist, Tom. Listen, Steele is not... He's not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. He's not going to take me off my throne. No one is. You know what? Nicholas Crenson has a better shot than Anthony Steele.
No, don't say. Listen, Nicholas Crenson. Obviously, we love Nicholas on here, a true OG of the platform. But I think Anthony really feels like he can win this on Saturday. I don't think Anthony is going to appreciate you saying that Nicholas Crenson has a better chance than him.
I'm glad he believes that, Tom. But let's talk about who else believed it. Mephisto and JX believed it.
JX, that's a great point.
Sean Jovi believed that he could beat me.
Well, look at where he is right now, and he's trying to figure out if he was jealous of Justin Parsley, and if Soldier's his big brother still.
Speaking of Justin Parsley believed he could beat me.
Yes, Justin Parsley.
El Drago believed it many times.
Justin Parsley talked about trying to find the real Omen, and Steele talked about that and refuted that claim. I'm glad you brought that up also on Sunday's show. Justin Parsley famously was on here. Oh, if I recall correctly, was here on 420. He was here on 420 day and talked about trying to find the real you. He talked about the Omen that he knew wanted to drag back. And, well, how did that end up? And Steele refuted that claim. He refuted that on Sunday's show.
I'm tired of everyone saying, "Oh, the real Omen. You're not the Omen I knew." You guys have changed, not me.
Or is it that you knew, or is it that from your vantage point that these people were always who they were and that you were trying to point the obvious or didn't get the opportunity to point the obvious, and then when given the opportunity, you did, and over time, because sometimes we look at things in life and over time, things look different and we judge things differently. And we judge things in a way that maybe we go and say, you know what? I was wrong about that. You know what? Yeah, that person was right. And what you're telling me is that over time, that it wasn't you that changed. It's the people around you that really who they were. And now we saw it on screen and you knew it all along.
That's absolutely right, Tom. No one believed me. You did. You believed me, Tom. You didn't say it out loud, but you believed me. I knew.
Well, I
could tell look on your face every time I was on here.
Well, yeah, I would love to say that I can't say I believed or didn't believe, but
I proved it so many times before, Tom. When I say something, it happens.
Well, you know what? I tell you what you have proved is that you've been the IMF champion for 10 months. You even went through this whole situation with Damian Saint. You're the undisputed champion. Jovi's here. We saw what happened there. Justin Parsley, I mean, we could bring up what happened in the cage, and maybe Justin Parsley would not like us to bring that up. I mean, we know what you did to Mephisto and taking the championship from him. I mean, there's this guy, Gabe Sayers. You probably remember him, right? Gabe Sayers. Pretty well-known guy all across the independent circuit, GTS. He was the hardcore champion. Look at what you did to him. I'm not going to bring up you and Soldier. I'm not going to do that. Drago's here in the chat. We've seen what you've done to Drago in the past. I mean, we can keep going in these last 10 months. I mean, let's not even bring up Ace Diamond on Jovi's vlogs between you and him. I mean, I could even throw that in as a bonus, but we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to do that because obviously—
I beat him in his own game.
You know what? And, hopefully for Nicholas Crenson's sake, maybe Ace Diamond is exactly what he needs to get his career on track, but that's a different job. But the point is that these last 10 months, what you've done and what somebody did here just shows that this is one of the greatest runs in underground history.
I'm sorry. I'm just admiring this. Look at that. Steel can even— it's hard to steal up.
Well, he's a big guy. Steele's a big guy. Although Steele did say he's lost weight. Steele did say on Sunday's show he has lost weight. You guess you didn't believe it. Would that be another boy who cried wolf, Anthony Steele ism here? That Anthony Steele didn't lose weight? Are you trying to go that route?
The only thing crying is his scale. When he says, I lost weight, and the scale is like, no, you did not. Where?
You know what? I'm not going to go certainly check another man's weight. We don't want to go down that road, but obviously—
I can say I'm fat. I don't care.
You know what? Well, regardless, we do not want to go down that road, but obviously Felix Jones definitely went down the road that he pinned Anthony Steele.
He beat Anthony Steele and a guy who was on WWE at one point.
A man that, by the way, MTV True Life. I mean, think about that, right? Way back in this was a man that people saw in their home, millions upon millions of viewers saw Rory Fox. They saw him on SmackDown. They saw him on Raw. This is a man that has been in our sport now for going on 4 decades. This is a man that has won championship after championship in the Midwest and especially Iowa. Arguably one of the most well-known wrestlers in the Midwest. I mean, who could argue with that? He has been on MTV. He has been on WWE programming multiple times. This is a man, if you just search on Reddit, there are endless chats about Rory Fox and what he's done on Reddit. On Reddit.
You know, I'm not knocking Rory Fox. I'm not like Anthony Steele. I'm not going to knock someone who's put the blood, sweat, and tears into this business. Shout out to Rory Fox, but he just couldn't get the job done when it came to Felix Jones. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Anthony did kind of dismiss Rory Fox because I talked about Rory's veteran tactics of the match, and Anthony seemed to, dismiss
just disrespect him. Talk about an unfortunate accident that happened to him.
Well, we've seen how he's treated veterans before. The underground OG Dark Crider, man, you have no love for. We've seen what he said about him on this platform and what he did to him. He's around. Yeah, he's around. I mean, he doesn't have. He doesn't have gold anymore, which you kind of...
Yeah, I know that because he got beat by Kyle Kaplan. Hey, shout out to Kyle. You did something I wanted to do. I wanted to beat the hell out of...
but you know what? We also saw how another elder of Anthony Steele's, James Taylor, was treated upon many times. And so Anthony Steele does have a problem with his elders. He does have a problem with that. And that's, what could come back to haunt him this Saturday, I would imagine. I wanted to ask you one more thing on Steele. We're going to get to the chat. People want to talk to you, But Anthony Steele and this foundation thing, I mean, don't you think that eventually guys like Soulja GP, I know Soulja, it's not your fight, it's not your situation right now to focus on or worry about, but don't you think Soulja, if Drago's starting to see it maybe, that Soulja would see Steele for what you've said here the entire night and what you've kind of warned people about? Don't you think that those in the foundation, the rest of the group, what's left, or other members would kind of see Anthony Steele and that he is the boy that cries wolf with those Steeleisms, with the weight, the injury, championships, I mean, all these different things, his gear. I mean, don't you think that they'll see it?
Tom, we're talking about a guy who has to wear bifocals just to wrestle. All right? You think about Soulja GP seeing anything, he's not seeing anything. Tom, he didn't see me coming. He didn't see me turn on him.
Well, I think the difference would be in this case that Soulja's got a lot of history with Steele, and Steele's been an outsider who has said things also.
I mean, but let's think about it, Tom. The signs were there. When he brought back Damian Saint, the signs were there, Tom. If you think about it, I wasn't the biggest fan when he brought Damian Saint out in my match and helped me win.
Yeah, and what's interesting...
I wasn't there when he lost his title to Mephisto. I wasn't there.
No, you weren't. But you on the point of Damian Saint, when I asked Anthony Steele a few months back about either facing you or Saint, he wanted you still. So if Damian Saint was aligned with guys like Justin Parsley and Soulja GP, that's another Steeleism. That's another boy who cries wolf, because the logic would have been, Steele should have been rooting for Saint to beat you, because that way it could keep the fans happy, and Steele's this true guy that's now doing things the right way and is humbled. But no, he can't help himself. He can't help himself.
No one can help Anthony Steele. No one can. Anthony can't even help himself from being himself. He is his biggest enemy and his biggest fan at the same time. And that's what's going to cost him this Saturday, Tom.
So really what you're trying to say is that instead of calling him the real deal Anthony Steele, we should be calling him the narcissist Anthony Steele? Is that what you just said? Because that's the definition of a narcissist. Someone that loves themselves, truly adores themselves. And that would sound like what you're trying to say, Champ, on your platform, that it's not the real deal Anthony Steele, or it's not even the real meal Comet, as Sean Jovi has coined coined him. It's rather the narcissist Anthony Steele.
The narcissist Anthony Steele. I like the ring of that. Also because it fits in with him being the foundation. They're all narcissistic.
Well, Sean Jovi may, I guess, be trying to figure out if that's true, and he's going to talk about
He's
that.
He's following my footsteps, and I'm proud of him. He's seeing it, Tom. He is seeing the error in the foundation ways.
Well, we're going to find that out. I'll tell you what, but that's for tomorrow's show. But let's get to some people here in the chat. Plus, I want to have a surprise for you like to show on the screen. It's not Anthony Steele because he's not.
Is it Heshy? Heshy, you here?
It's actually, unfortunately, Heshy can't. We have another Jewish holiday. It's another one. We've had Shavuot, we've had Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, but we're on the last holiday. So that's why I'm here on your platform tonight, because usually I'm on with Heshy talking news Wednesday nights, but we have one more holiday to get through. So no, Heshy, it's no phone, no nothing. So it's not until tomorrow night he'll be back. But Heshy will definitely appreciate you shouting him out, and I'll make sure that you come on his show one day because we have 50,000 listeners.
I appreciate it.
After Heshy loses this election in a couple of weeks, we'll need to fill the time because that's a different show for a different time. But Zilla's here. Thank you, Zilla, for being here first. Now Ox McCoy's obviously got some opinions about you. We'll get into them. Okay.
Skip over him.
Thank you. Let's get to some more comments. We'll leave out your comments because you're here.
Hey, who's that guy? That guy's a handsome guy.
Anthony Steele. It's not Anthony Steele. I don't want to have a conversation with you and this guy because it'll usually end up not well. But
you know what? Like you said, Tom, I give people a lot of advice, a lot of tips. I've given this guy tips and advice, and hopefully he follows through with it. But I guess we'll see.
You know what? Who knows? Speaking of people that I don't think are fans of you, but they're fans of Justin Parsley. Yeah, I don't know why True Blood came up on Sunday's stream, but it did. Hello to
because she's an idiot.
Well, you said that, I didn't, and she's gonna be here tomorrow night. Yes, hello there, and she also wants to say hello. And speaking of people, glad I barely made it in time for the war chants. I'd be sad if I missed it at all. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow night, Sean Jovi will be here, cheap plug. And I watched Jovi's vlog while I was writing notes, actually, last night at 12:30 in the morning. Thank you, Sean Jovi. Speaking of people, though, that I wonder what you think about, this guy, Jack Delta, he returned.
I'm glad you brought him up.
Okay, love to hear what you think.
A lot of commotion going on between IMF, REW, Jack Delta, Kyle Kaplan, Soldier GP, and IMF.
Yeah.
Jack, I respect you. I don't care what you said about IMF. I don't care what Kyle Kaplan's been saying about IMF.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I will say this, Kyle, or Jack, whichever one's listening. Kyle, Jack, Chris, don't matter. I will always defend you guys when it comes to IMF. So if you guys ever need my hand, I'm a phone call away.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure that they'll appreciate that. I think that they'll appreciate that, and
I hope. I'm the greatest champion in Underground right now.
I mean, I don't see why.
It goes me, Felix, and then you could fill in the rest.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I mean, that's a good point. But thank you, Jack Delta, for coming on here, and Omen Black gave us some enlightening comments on his show, and Zilla has a big crush still on Jack Delta, which I guess we appreciate. Sean Jovi, though, has a different point. Also, Delta, you getting beat up by Kyle Kaplan made me sad. Hope you kick his butt one day if and when you come back. Well, that's Sean Jovi's opinion. But Mr. Delta would like to point out that Kyle Kaplan skipped to the front of the line for those actions. 2026 is going to be a very different year. Well, I mean, people would like to see more of that, I suppose. So it was a blindsided attack on an injured wrestler, shady tactics by shady people. But you disputed that. You did just dispute that just now. So that's always in the eye of the beholder. We do hope that Mr. Delta comes back to a wrestling ring, and I think people would like to see that. That I would agree with partially. Also, Jade said she's being nice to you tonight.
Be nice and get off the stream. How about that?
No, stay in the chat. Just, I guess, be careful with some of the things you may say. And is Jack Delta okay from that attack? Well, he's here in the chat right now, so I think he's okay. And yes, Parsley and Soldier are here tomorrow to talk with Sean Jovi and Mephisto. I mean, Mephisto hasn't been here in months. I mean, what do you think Mephisto could possibly say?
Oh, brother, and that's about it.
Well, you were here with him famously last year, and you were trying to like explain to him the severity of your match with him, and I would have to think that somebody will have to explain to him.
He's probably still not over it, Tom. I wouldn't be.
It reminds me of that Saturday Night Live skit years ago when they had the Chicago Bears guys still talking about Mike Ditka and everything else, like, and it was 1997 and it was like 1985 called. So maybe Mephisto's in that same frame of mind, but it could be very well Mephisto's last shot at anything. And even Sean Jovi has recognized the prospect of that. And there is Sean Jovi. Also, this is directed at you, sir. Not my words, but the enforcer of Sportzwire Radio wants to say, where's mine? I'm going to do it here. Belt.
Look down. It's probably around your waist. Next comment.
You know what? That's a clever. Well said. You know what? That is a clever comment. That is a very clever comment. I know. And Jovi, sorry, Jovi. John Jovi has this to say, though. This weekend, I promise to remind everyone who the real founding father of this platform's success truly is. Well, but this is your platform. So is he wants to remind people about your success? That's a great point.
I'll just nip this in the butt right now, Tom. Yeah, Sean Jovi may have been the founder, but I took it and I made it better.
Yes, you did.
He was on here arguing in a wig. He was wearing a wig on here.
People wear wigs. I mean, listen.
Arguing with a guy in a skull mask. Arguing with a guy who occasionally sits in his chair, leaned all the way back. Just like this. We all know who I'm talking about.
You know what? I would say, listen, we've evolved from the days of wig wearers to, Josie Scott last week. I mean, we had Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad a couple of months ago. We're an American band. I mean, listen, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, in Israel, they always say, where thy people, let thy people go.
When Jovi was wearing that wig, it made him look like he was in the Minecraft movie. Just square head.
We might have wanted to have been in the Minecraft movie, though. I've watched some of Jovi's lives at Mario Kart. I'm sometimes the only other person there. Ox is there sometimes to his credit, and I'm watching it. I support Sean Jovi.
Oh, not that. What'd you call the game?
Mario Kart?
Say it one more time.
Mario Kart. Minecraft?
No, it's Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. Yeah, he was playing with Dark.
Are you saying Mario or Mario?
Mario Kart.
Okay. Mario Kart. I thought I was hearing Mario. I'm like, oh, Tom.
No, Mario Kart. Mario Kart. Mario Kart. Okay, let's move on to more comments. Well, I mean, if you leave, that means I have a chance of being a top guy one day. So he's saying if you leave, he might be a top guy.
Enough said. Okay.
But that could be. Listen, Anthony Steele and Sean Jovi at main events.
If you become a top guy, I promise to bring back Chris Craven on the platform.
No, that's
never gonna happen.
Well, that part B is never gonna happen. But Sean Jovi could still be a top guy. And he's gonna be a top guy tomorrow here on Sportswire. So part B, yes, that's not happening. But
he was a top guy at one point in a Wisconsin company.
Yes. And he has had success here in the IMF, and he is looking to try to get his footing back, and we'll find out if he does. I mean, look, I'm very curious to see what he has to say. Mephisto's back here in months, and I have no idea what he'll say. And you got Parsley.
I can tell you right now, the whole conversation will be like, oh, yeah, brother, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that.
But Parsley's probably going to have a lot. Though, when Parsley says something, I mean, he's already talked about the Portion Sugar Bee references and the reel. He talked about the healing herbs. I mean, it's really going to be interesting tomorrow. And Soldier's going to come in there and he's going to point into Jovi's face. I mean, I tell you what, that's why you got to be here tomorrow night. I'm excited about this one. And we'll have more coverage here. It's been good to have everybody back here the last week. It's been homecoming week. Jovi was here Friday. James was here Saturday. Anthony was here Sunday. You're here tonight. We had some in-between episodes, which we'll just say, just watch the Josie Scott one last week. We had 2 shows, Monday
I
and
watched
Tuesday.
that one, and you also had some Ohio promo guys who.
Well, we had community service. We do community service. We try to support the people.
I like the way you word it.
I listen, and I do so. I love doing community
That
service.
Killshot though, he's not a promo wrestler anymore though.
No, Killshot is actually Killshot. I will say is actually a wrestler. Devin Adams though is actually he was in WTW not too long ago. So I mean, look, we want to give everybody an opportunity.
Shout out to those guys. No, they're putting the work.
Yes, Killshot's got to now deal with Mr. Robert Scott, though, which I don't know if I want to deal with if I'm Killshot. But in the meantime, hit the sub button for the IMF. And the final chief, speaking of people that are now married, Chase Wakefield says that boogeymen scare me.
I didn't get the invite to the wedding.
Well, actually, between me, you, and the phone, like half the other people didn't go or did get the invite and didn't go either.
I would have canceled as well.
No comment. We didn't.
I'm kidding.
Actually, I canceled because I went to the dentist and got my left tooth extracted, and then my right side just got done. So that was my excuse. And Rad Dad was going to be here on Sportzwire, so I had 2 excuses. You had your doctor's notes. I had my dentist notes. So I feel your pain literally.
I walked in the doctor's office. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I just need a doctor's note." Like, but there's nothing wrong. I'm like.
Well, the difference is, so I could do the same thing, but I just opened my checkbook. That's the difference. Same thing, just different ways to do it. There is Drago, and he has heard plenty of these things here. Let me get to some comments here. Camo Cam will be dressing up as Jey Uso, Highway to Hell, 4-letter, 1-word, yeet. I think this is obviously Team Drago. Team Drago's here. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much, and happy belated birthday to Keanu. Yes, Drago.
How's your mom, Cam? How's your mom doing?
You know what? Thank you. Oh, you know what? I had a bus driver yell at me.
Can't do it with the glasses on. I got to come on.
Well, let's go. Thank you. Move on. Let's get to some more comments. Yes, hello. Also, here we want to get to some more comments. I hear a lot of talk, man, from a man I'm going to headbutt this Saturday.
What are you talking about? Anthony Steele's not on tonight.
Well, he was here twice in 2 days, so we had enough of him for now. But he'll be back after Highway to Hell. The final chief and the Samoan Dragon, the IMF US champion Il Drago. What's your thoughts about me? Well, okay. Well, that's putting Il Drago on the spot. World is blessed to have you, Zilla, one of the best fans for wrestling ever. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Thank you, Drago, for doing that. And okay, and also Jade wants us not to bring up that match with you and Justin Parsley because it made her cry.
Let's play it.
I can do that. We'll put up on the. Well, we want to keep her in the stream though. I can do that. Have it right in front of me. I can actually play it. I will get to it shortly. But I mean, you sure you want to do that though? I mean, you sure? I mean, if you want to do it, it's your platform.
No, I'm kidding.
I got it right here in front of me. I'm glad you suggested because I actually do have it right in front of me.
If we want to watch a good match, just watch anything with me and Felix in it, or me and.
No, we got it. We got it here. I mean, we'll keep it in the chat.
There you go. Is that the ending? Oh, it is the ending. Okay, good.
It'll motivate Mr. Parsley for tomorrow, I'm sure, to have plenty to say. And it is one of the better matches of your career. So, I mean, Justin Parsley would really appreciate us saying that. And I'm sure the Hall of Fame monitor is here right now because, well, he really knows how to time his comments. I'll be dressing up and then also leaving as one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions come Highway to Hell this Saturday. So what he's telling us is that Halloween is coming early and that he's going to dress up with the IMF Tag Team Championship, but leave as the IMF Tag Team Champion.
Like his Halloween costume, he's gonna change, like dress up, so he's gonna dress up like Sean Jovi or Mephisto. Which one is it?
Well, I mean,
I'll be honest with you, I see a different Jovi.
I think it would be extremely interesting to see him try to dress up as Mephisto. That might certainly be an interesting moment. But I'll get to more comments.
He has too much charisma to be either one of them.
Well, you know what? We'll have to find out tomorrow. Hello there. I'm converting if I get that many holidays. Yes, they do in the Jewish. This year, the way it turned out is that they had like 3 holidays like back to back. It doesn't always happen that way in the calendar. By the way, it is 5786 is the year in the Jewish calendar. It's 5786, and we do want to wish everybody a happy New Year, a Gitamoid, and a Happy Yontif, which is the way of saying the Jewish New Year. Yes, maybe I'm going to be converting.
I'll say one thing, Tom. Watching this just made me have like Vietnam flashbacks of this face paint, just the face paint itself, because holy cow, that was hard to get off. 2 hours. It took me 2 hours just to get it off.
Well, Justin Parsley, we didn't see him even in the chat for like 2 months, so he might have dealt with it worse. But Ox McCoy is not happy with you. Just saying, skip over me, just like how the house always skipped helping me in my matches. Get Omen Black, watch your back. I plan on paying you back tenfold. You worried about that? Because, I mean, Ox McCoy is making a point that Anthony Steele has made on here in the past. I mean, is that sour grapes, or is Ox McCoy saying something that we should pay attention to? What's your opinion?
You know what? I'll say this, Tom.
Yes, sir.
When Damian Saint came in IMF, when I faced him at last year's King of the Center, I think, I was attacked by Damian and Ox and some Viking that's not even there anymore.
Well, I thought
maybe I just brought you into the House of Wolves just to get my payback, because you did cost me my hardcore title, Ox. So it went back all tenfold. So if I were you, I'd let it go and just know that I'm the greatest IMF hardcore champion and will forever be the greatest IMF hardcore champion.
We'll go to the next comment. Yep. And hello. Yes. Okay, now the greatest King of Palo, 2 of the greatest tag team champions of all time. You know what time it is for her. She's definitely not rooting for Sean Jovi and Mephisto coming out this Saturday. I'm still rooting for you, my real IMF undisputed champion, Omen Black, against the real deal Anthony Steele, or you have seemed to have alluded the narcissist Anthony Steele, and Il Drago, no matter what. Speaking of people that are here, they are here, and they have something to say. He would not go out quietly in the night. That is Anthony Steele himself. The real deal would say, Zilla, you're choosing the wrong side in Omen. Time's ticking on your title run. And look at who he's raising hands with. Foundation members. Anthony Steele, we are living in the Steel Nation. And now he's saying we're going to live in it coming up this Saturday.
I don't even believe him, because he can't even spell the word you right, or your.
Well, that's his way of saying. That's what I do, as Anthony would always say. Anthony has his way of doing things, certainly.
Steele, I'm glad you have the confidence, because it's going to be so much sweeter when you lose.
Well, he's going to have more comments. He says hello to Justin Parsley. And Steele, sorry, I'm with Esther, and she's soothed by these podcasts for whatever reasons. Well, I'm glad that somebody's soothed by them.
We all know why.
And I'm not going there, but thank you very much. And Zilla doesn't care.
I know real bad.
And Zilla is team IMF Omen Black. And Steele is now saying hello to Jade after their back and forth conversation on Sunday show. I was going to dress up as Felix. Next comment, please. Please, next comment.
A piece of crap. Got it.
No, next comment there. How we doing tonight? I'm good, getting ready to take pictures with my new world title. So that would be what you've been saying, though, throughout the conversation tonight, that Anthony is just copying what you want to do. He wants to take that championship to Foundry Pro Wrestling. Like, you want to, even though in a way different, but still similar, you want to take the championship away from the IMF and just move on with it. And that's what he could be doing if he gets his way for next weekend.
Steele, I don't know what world title you're talking about taking pictures with. What are you debuting at RCEW? What are you debuting at WCE?
Maybe he thinks he can get that OCW Delta Championship that James Taylor is getting because he pinned James Taylor last time they were in the ring, and maybe he's thinking he could usurp that title from James Taylor.
Sure. Let's go with that. Let's go with that narrative, Tom.
Hey, it sounds believable. Steele has pinned James Taylor the most recent time they were in a ring in a wrestling match, leave aside a Rumble. We know what happened there also. So, I mean, that's And whose hardcore title?
Mine. I
And
have
he
it
also
in my possession.
wants to say, and who was shaking Damien's hand after the dog collar match? Sure as wasn't me.
I'm a man of my word. I told Damien we're on here. After that match, win or lose. I told him, if I win, Damien, I'll still shake your hand. And that's it. We're done. Done. I think I said that. Not maybe I butchered it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that was how the conversation went. So I'm sorry, my man of my word, Ox. How's your word? That you're gonna be the greatest Iron Hardcore champion. Now what are you? You're a guy in a cat or a sling. Sweet.
By the way, I do want to give a early happy birthday wish.
By the way, that's ketchup. That's not even blood. That's ketchup all over his head, right there.
Oh, I know. Ox McCoy. We know what Ox and Kato did to each other. Ox, it's blood. No, Ox is really sends his messages in blood, reigns in blood, and he's definitely sleeping in blood even. But I do have to, on your platform, give a happy birthday wish, an early happy birthday wish to your and everyone else's PWF champion, Felix Jones. It is Felix Jones' birthday tomorrow. I'd like to wish the Prince of Professional Wrestling a very happy birthday, a blessed happy birthday, and thank you for what you're doing for our sport. And I hope it's a great day.
If I say something for you, can clip it for him, or put it on Facebook, whatever.
Yeah, I'll do it for his birthday. I'll just wish him happy birthday.
I gotta breathe in. This is my boy, Felix. Hi, I know you're watching this. It's your Uncle Omen, and I want to wish you a very, very special birthday as the youngest and greatest PWF World Heavyweight Champion. You're sure better than the last guy, and forever will be the last guy as the PWF World Champion. Keep up the good work. Happy birthday. Love, your Uncle Omen. Now, go piss off your dad.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Felix. Let's just say that. And Steel, I'll take a photo of the moment. And you mean Drago's World Championship and new. You're Drago. Listen, why not? You know what? Drago's here. Gonna be already AM, and the sling is gone. Oh, that sling is gone.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Not concerned? And there is exclamation point. No. And by the way, 66.666666% chance of the foundation walking out as IMF champion.
So Steel Foundation.
Well, I asked that question. Steel said no, though, on Sunday show. Did you not hear that? He said no.
Are you asking Parsley? Parsley, you not hear that?
I'm going to bring it up to the Hall of Fame monitor on tomorrow's show. And, I got something for you. I got to give it to you on the screen because I promised you something on your platform, and I think it's time to recognize you, especially for being so generous and so kind to allow us to have all these A-list celebrities come on Sportswire. It is now my pleasure to put you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame once again as the IMF Undisputed Champion.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's, 4 for me?
Well,
it's no 7.
You got to catch up. Justin Parsley's at like 11. He's at 11.
I'm not playing Justin Parsley's game. No, 4 is 4 is perfect for me. Now, if you want to give me a 5th, after I beat Drago and Steel, I wouldn't.
I mean, listen, you can come back when you listen. I'm gonna say that it's your platform, and we'll definitely have you back on after Highway to Hell for sure.
Nah, actually, who I can? It'd be just childish if I got a 5th one. Nah. When I do beat them,
Steele's got 10 of them. I think now Steele's got 10 of them. James Taylor's got I think 6 or 5. I mean, why not you? So we want to let you catch up on the numbers. But apparently, Champ, I have received word that there is somebody that would like to thank you for all the things you said here tonight. Thank you for everything that you've been saying here before we sign off. And I know it's your platform, but I've been instructed to bring this person on from management.
I feel like you're tricking me.
It's not. I actually don't have any idea who this is. This is management's call that they want this person on here. Not my call. I don't know who it is. This is a management decision. Not my. I know it's your platform, but this is a management decision telling me that they would like this person to come on and say a few words before we sign off?
I better hide my food because I feel like I know who it is, and the meal cometh, right?
Well, for those that are listening and watching, in prime time when the brightest lights, the biggest stage, after he said he wouldn't be here,
The real
he's
squeal.
here now. I mean, Anthony, Devin Adams was here yesterday. You should have showed up for Devin, but this is Omen Black. I mean, I thought Devin Adams you were showing up for yesterday's show for. That was that episode.
This is what it feels like having your show interrupted.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too good, does it?
Oh, where are you walking to? Grocery store?
That
No.
was Jack Delta. No, stop that. That was Jack Delta's episode on ROEW. This is Anthony Steele.
Look, dog. You're just mad I'm in better shape than you are. And I'm younger than you. That's the funny part.
You world champion? Didn't think so.
About to be.
Are you?
3 days. 3 days time, Omen.
Are you walking to RCW to get that world title? Because you ain't getting it this Saturday in IMS.
No, I did point out OPW. He could win that Delta Championship because he's beaten Taylor last time in the ring.
Look, Omen.
He doesn't want to wrestle Taylor.
He said he wanted to wrestle him.
No, he
Dude,
don't. He's like, I want to tag team with you.
After he wrestles him.
Look, Omen, I'm not here to take your spotlight. I'm here to tell you in 3 days' time. You got 3 days to fucking prepare. And I hope to God you don't bring a doctor's note again to where you don't have to defend the world title for another month. Or play some little stupid-ass game. Omen, it's simple. In 72 hours, your title reign's over. And it's not going to be by Drago. Because we all know what Drago's record is against a world champion. 0. It's not hard to beat you, dog. It's really not. I said it before, I said it again, and you can talk over me while I say it. The truth still remains the same. Without any help, Omen, you can't beat me. That's the only way that you can beat Anthony Steele. And this Saturday, I'm going to prove that this time, that's not the case. So please, hold that championship really, really close to you for the next 72 hours. Because once that bell rings, you're not getting it back.
And
now, can I give you a countdown myself, Steele? 72 hours to hold my title close, right? You have exactly the same amount of time I have to keep the dignity and pride and your ego intact. Because after that bell rings Saturday night, all that ego, all that talk will mean that you failed and you accomplished nothing. So, go ahead. Walk to work, walk to your girlfriend's house, walk to your boyfriend's house for all I care. Because 72 hours, you're going to walk into Palo as a challenger, and you're going to walk out of Palo as a loser. You're used to that. You're used to that, Steve, aren't you? Walking out the loser. But this time, it's going to mean something.
I don't understand how you can say that, Omen. If my record books check that are correct, I have way more many wins in IMF than I do losses on my record.
that's a good point. Anthony has won much more than he's lost. That's a good point.
So
he's faced guys. He's only faced like 2 people who've been a challenge. Me, and I can't think of anyone else.
He's faced Crime. He's faced Drago and Crime.
My bad. Me and Felix.
Toby, he's beaten multiple times.
The real competition he's faced is me and Felix.
So hold on.
He just lost to Felix.
So are you saying
lose to me?
Are you saying Jordan Nets is not a challenge?
A former world champion.
Your House of Wolves family brother?
And former world champion.
Jordan Nets is not a challenge. That's good to know. Because I beat him.
Okay.
Not once, but twice.
You beat Jordan.
Twice.
Good for you.
Who else? I beat Jovi twice. I'll give you that. That's not really a challenge.
Whoa, Joe, Foundation. You were partially said, boy, Anthony's Anthony.
Let's see. I've beaten you, so obviously,
I said me,
and
so
in this terminology,
keep it up, sunshine.
in your terminology, I've beaten the best. So, what's to say?
A different time, Anthony. A different time.
What's to say that this Saturday it won't be the same?
Because Steele, your ego is getting in the way, and that's perfect. I want you to be confident. I want you to be. Truly, I do. I want that. I want the most for you in that, because it's gonna be so much sweeter when I walk out still champion, and I see you leave in that sad, pathetic car ride home back to Illinois.
Time will tell, Omen. 72 hours is all it takes.
That's it. It's less than that now. It's less than that now. And also, by the way, commenting that Omen will be retaining is the puppet master himself, Jason Storm, who's got his obviously other things he's focusing on.
Hey, Storm, the last time you stepped foot in IMF, you're on the losing side, so shut the fuck up.
But you know what? He's allowed to have his opinion.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not here for a long time. I'm not here to ruin your night. I said what I had to say. 72 hours, Omen. No doctor's note.
I beat guys you couldn't even beat yourself.
But Anthony, you may need a doctor's note to show up to Foundry Pro Wrestling if Omen Black gets his way.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up the Foundry. You know, this for the MRI and this being hurt, man, you're doing a lot of moving. You're doing a lot of walking. You're doing a lot of stuff for being hurt.
And we talked about the Steelisms. We talked about that, Anthony, the Steelisms tonight.
You'd think if I was hurt, I ain't walking to work. I'm getting a ride. I'm getting an Uber. I'm driving.
Can't keep me down, big dog. Never have, never will. But you have a great night, Omen. 72 hours. I'll see you soon. See you very, very soon.
I'm glad the cameras at your work are seeing that you're going to be a failure.
He left. He walked up and said, "Have a great night." That's Anthony Steele. Like, what do you think about that before finals? Anthony Steele usually would come on here and just go and who knows whatever, but said, "Just have a great night."
Because he knows what I say is going to happen. Tom, I've proven it. He can't. You know what? I'll bring this up. Steele wishes he could beat the guys that I've beaten in the ring.
You know, great point, because you beat Gabe Sayers and he couldn't beat him.
He couldn't get the job done with Damian Saint. Even when I helped him, he couldn't do it.
You know, I hate to bring it up, but Felix Jones, right, who's celebrating the birthday, Steele couldn't beat him. I know you don't want to bring it up, but you have beaten him this year.
Yeah.
And I hate to do it. You know, I know it's not what you want to bring up, but Steele couldn't pin him recently.
No, he couldn't. No, he could not. Just keep that in mind, Steele. I know you're still watching. I can feel the weight in this chat.
Well, apparently Ox wants to say, "Be honest, you ain't walking anywhere." Who would not be walking anywhere would be the question. And Steele chose the wrong.
I ride in style. I'm the champion.
Steele chose the wrong side, and now he'll be embarrassed for it.
Thanks.
You know, I want to ask you about that before we get to closing thoughts.
Thank you, Storm, too.
You know what? There's an interesting point that the Puppet Master makes, in that, you know, Anthony has said all these things. He made all these announcements, whether it was Ring Gear last week, and whether it was Foundry Pro Wrestling, and whether it was going to take the house down in previous episodes. And I got all that stuff. But you could potentially, if you believe in this MRI possibility, could say he's a torn MCL away. Maybe you are going to have the possibility of putting Anthony Steele on the shelf. Maybe that, and this is Anthony's
That's
last
a heavy-duty shelf.
This is, well, you know what? You said that, not me. But this could be, if you get your way, it could not only be Sean Jovi's last dance for a title shot, but maybe Anthony Steele's last hurrah in the IMF for the foreseeable future. And everyone has been waiting when that shoe would drop. on Anthony Steele's days in a promotion. And if the results are true and he's this close from a torn MCL, if what you do to him this Saturday, you could potentially land him maybe even worse than a torn MCL. You may give him a torn ACL and then, well, that's it.
Physical injuries aren't such a big deal, Tom. It's going to be the mental and emotional injury that he's going to take after Saturday. He's going to have to live with the fact that he failed and he didn't live up to his own hype. He didn't live up to his own word. And he's got to live with that. I would do this. I would do the same thing if I was saying here, I'm going to beat Steele. I'm going to beat Drago, and I fail. Those words would eat me alive.
But are you saying that Steele's legacy is on the line this Saturday? Steele's legacy. You know, we talked about Drago. We talked about his family, his heritage. I got that. But you mean to tell me that Steele's legacy is on the line? Because you've talked about tonight that Steele can't be a top guy. You've talked about the fact that Steele can't draw. You've talked about the fact that Steele's not a believable champion. But what it sounds like is that Steele's legacy is on the line this Saturday, according to what you've said throughout the entire conversation.
That's exactly right, Tom. His own legacy, and again, the hype of Anthony Steele, people are going to see that when he fails, you can't take anything he says to heart anymore. You can't. Because he's not going to live up to his own hype, his promises to the fans, his promises to the foundation, his promises here on Sportswire to you and whoever watches.
Well, I mean, people tune into Anthony. TikTok, they tuned into a lot of what he had to say earlier, but we'll have to find that out. And management better take my words seriously. I'm not turning the other cheek. I want Omen Black's blood on my hands. You may have to worry about something else there.
I'm not worried about Ox.
No?
Why would I be?
Cato found that out, though. Don't cross Ox McCoy. And Cato's in Carnage Cup next weekend.
I'm just saying, be happy on your time off, Ox. Be happy that you have the time off, because if you were back in the ring and you ever step in the ring with me, you might be back on that shelf that you are right now. Because now I know where to hurt you, how to hurt you. That's all I need. I just need a little bit of edge. See, I tried. It's tactics, Tom. You got to be a tactician. You got to think.
You have talked about that in the past. You've always talked about the house always wins. You've always talked about the truth will set you free. You've always talked about the long game. Wars have been brought up here in previous shows. So, you know, it seems like if what you're saying here, the outcome is that Omen Black is not only going to walk away as undisputed champion, but as United States champion, because really what it comes down to is, sure, we could focus on Anthony Steele, but having another belt, I think that's, to me, what the moral of the story is for you, that you can have a chance to just solidify your dominance and put a firewall between you and everyone else in the IMF by taking Drago's championship. Forget about Steele. Yeah, you pin Steele, all right, yeah, but Drago's the guy you want to pin this Saturday. He's the guy you want to make sure you've already done it recently. We know that spot you and him did at Summer Bash. So really the guy you want to focus on is Il Drago.
Perhaps. You know, Tom, it's like I don't know who said it, but there's a great saying is all the greatest wars happen with the mind first. And that's exactly what I do. I get in the mind of my opponents. I play mind games. I lead them astray to thinking one thing when really something's happening over here. It's like modern magic, sleight of hand, Tom.
Yeah.
Lead them astray, lead them somewhere else when really I'm doing a trick right in front of them. That's the story. That's the legacy of Omen Black. That's how I win and win and win and win.
And you have been doing that, and there is no question that all you have done is win these last 10 months. And if anything we've learned tonight is that nothing's going to change this coming Saturday in the Palo Community Center. I also want to point out it's going to be an earlier start time. I also want to point out Tone Boss, the Grammy-nominated artist, is going to kick things off for us. We have a big crowd coming up here this Saturday. You want to get there early. You're going to also see some of your favorites in the IMF tomorrow night. Sean Jovi, Mephisto, the rock stars of the galaxy will be here alongside the IMF Tag Team Champions, Soldier GP, and Justin Parsley, the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportzwire Radio. I am very eagerly anticipating that and what they'll say. You know, Il Drago and Anthony Steele will be back here after Highway to Hell. You know, on his platform, Omen Black will be back on here. You'll see a lot of other things ahead. But before we get to closing thoughts, is there anything else you want to bring up here that we haven't touched upon before we close out tonight's show?
I've been thinking all about this match coming up Saturday. But I'm also thinking about next month and the month after that. Because, Tom, next month, if I win, when I win, I go against a man who I've already squared off with before this year in the cage. Now I'm going to face off with him again in November, Justin Parsley. And after I get through him, it's finally going to lead to where it's been leading to this whole year. Omen Black is going to put to rest the story of Soldier GP and walk out the undisputed IMF champion for good and kill IMF once and for all.
Well, that's a heavy lift because you still got to get through this Saturday. I know you said win, but Drago and Steele, Steele has certainly taken a completely different chart. And then Drago's talked about different things, and we can certainly talk about those things when we cross that bridge. But first, you still got to wrestle this Saturday. It is ways to go between now and December 31st. Time will tell. But I tell you what, you better be here same time, same bat channel tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. You are going to have on here Sean Jovi, Mephisto, and the IMF Tag Team Champions from the Foundation, those real monsters. Really, Justin Parsley is here, the Hall of Fame monitor, and Soldier GP. And they're going to have plenty to say. And what a battle, those war of words. It's been a different Sean Jovi. I have known Sean Jovi for almost 3.5 years, and I have not seen Sean Jovi the way I have seen him here these last couple of weeks, and especially his appearance on Sportswire Radio. So we'll have to find out. But I'll tell you what, Omen Black, it is your show. It is your platform. It is your night. I'm going to give this to you when you're off the air, and I'm going to pass the baton to you for some closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say. Be my guest.
First thing I want to say is shout out to Arkansas Premier Entertainment Wrestling.
Yes, we work with HCW, not too far from there, for sure.
Shout out to TF Crew.
Yes.
I guess shout out to IMF for now. Yep. Shout out to ROEW. But I want to say this.
Yes.
I've already won the battle in my mind. Saturday, I'm going to do what I want, and all the carnage I'm going to bestow upon Drago and Steele are going to prove that I'm the greatest IMF undisputed champion and will forever be the only IMF undisputed champion. But I want to point my crosshairs at someone else. I know they're also thinking about this too coming up this weekend in their match. Justin Parsley, I know you're thinking about next month as well. And just know, the cage was just the beginning. I'm going to finish that job next month after I beat Anthony Steele and Il Drago. Because I'm going to hold the IMF hostage just like Waco.
Oh, no! Oh, he just brought up so, ladies and gentlemen, if Omen Black gets his way, that's what we could be facing. And Justin Parsley, maybe he should just Focus on being a tag team champion. If listen, and Sean Joey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is real. This is real. This really is what Omen Black is planning to do. And that's why you really need to pay attention and buy a ticket if you're nearby the Palo Community Center. Follow the IMF, really, because you don't want to be in those crosshairs like Justin Parsley. It's one thing he's got to deal with a different Sean Jovi, and we saw what happened 5 months ago where Soldier GP had to watch helplessly, seeing Justin Parsley really being decimated the way he was, and Omen Black wants to finish the job. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to this Saturday first, and we'll really see what Justin Parsley has to say. And I'll ask, by the way, I will ask Justin Parsley really about what you just said. I will really ask him about that tomorrow night, and I'll be really curious about what the Hall of Fame monitor really has to say. And speaking of people that are back here tomorrow night,
I know.
Eyeballs.
It was a powerful statement I just made. Very powerful.
I'm terrified. Listen, it was, what was it, 2 days ago where we had a guy doing math. I don't even know how he came up with it. And he was like, is it fear or concern? And this is real fear, because Soldiers put out the eyeball emoji after what you just said. I'm going to have to
If I was Soldier GP, I'd be worried too what's on my partner's mind. Because not only he's got to worry about defending his titles, he's got to worry about what's going to happen to him next month.
Well, we know what happened 5 months ago. Time will certainly tell. I know one thing. Please support the IMF. You can check them out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. They're on there. Buy a ticket to the Palo Community. Also, shout out to Kara's Comfy Creations. And also, I want to say it one more time, and I'll make sure I clip that for you in a little while. Happy birthday to Felix Jones, the Prince of Professional Wrestling. Omen gave his own unique happy birthday wish. So I'll be sure to put that out here in a little while, because midnight will strike here in the Big Apple, and we'll give it to him early. But congratulations there, Felix. Congratulations there, you, on your platform. And we'll have, I'm sure, a lot to talk about here in the fallout from this. And I can't wait to see tomorrow night. But thank you, as always, for allowing us to be here in your presence on your platform. And we will be watching eagerly this Saturday, and can't wait to talk with you after it.
I appreciate the time, Tom. You know, all jokes aside, out of character, yes, you do give everyone the opportunity to work on their craft and let the world know about them.
Well, many people don't. We need to really work on.
Many people don't get that tool. Many people don't deserve that tool. But I appreciate everything you do for the community, and I think I can speak for everyone that we appreciate what you do for the community.
Well, I'd like to say, and I said this on Jovi's show on Friday. I do want to say I want to thank the wrestlers like IMF. I mean, you guys have been here for almost 3 years, and I really look at, if I could break the fourth wall for a minute, really thanking yourself. Soldier, his support. I see Ox here, Drago, yes, Anthony Steele, certainly Justin Parsley, and Sean Jovi, Nicholas Crenson, a lot of the IMF guys, Felix, certainly the Midwest Express. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the IMF for being here on Sportswire for as long as you guys have been, and to see your growth. It's really an honor to see. And Tone Boss going to open up the show, and Rory Fox, a legend. I mean, Rory Fox, if you put his name in on Reddit, you will see like how many people have talked about him. He was on MTV, which, as crazy as it sounds now, MTV is actually in Europe going to cease to exist. So Rory Fox was on MTV, and he made it. So the fact that you had him on your show, and Damian Saint, the guy who carries a lot of respect, said some very kind words about the platform, I'll be forever grateful. And that's why we like to support you guys every month and buy a ticket. And I'd like to thank all the wrestlers who put their time in. And without, and I said this on Friday's show, without the wrestlers, and especially companies like IMF, I like to throw Jason Storm in there. He was in the chat. We wouldn't have these A-list celebrities, coming on, because they saw the subscribers and the views. So I'd like to take the time to thank you guys. But before I do sign off, I have one more comment for you. Maybe 2026 treats us an IMF tag title run together. Just heard the comments from about an hour ago. But you said you're in the IMF, though. You said you're out.
I'm out. But Jack, I'm gonna quote someone that we both know very, very well. Never say never, kid.
He was here. Yeah. Yeah.
But all
That's him.
jokes aside, Jack, I appreciate you. You're a hell of a guy, and I couldn't have any more respect for you. Like I truly do respect you. You're a hard worker, and it was awesome meeting you in Michigan. So there's
Yeah.
that. And I don't think you look old. I think you look young as fuck. So
Well, I don't think he's old though. I don't think he's not James Taylor old. That's what I think you're implying is old. That's who you were implying is very old. But no, we love Jack Delta, whether he's an outsider or destructive Jack Delta, and I'm sure he'll be destructive one day back on Sportswire, maybe in 2026 or whenever he wants. I mean, it's really whenever he wants. And we want to thank Mr. Delta and, obviously thank everybody for their support. And, we look forward to seeing what the future of Jack Delta is. And I would love to see him, by the way. I would love to see him in the IMF. I think that people would like to see him.
Just think about that team, though. Jack Delta and Omen Black.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a dangerous team right there.
The dangerous ones, the dangerous alliance, maybe. The dangerous alliance. I mean, to quote a famous group that Paul Heyman famously managed back in the early days of WCW, or face or heel, support you guys no matter what. Yes, that's not Zilla commenting. That's Jack Delta commenting. And, we owe Jack also some kind words because he gave me the opportunity to speak with James Fury. And, I want to thank him for that. And all leads to great things. But, my friend, we will certainly see you after this Saturday. I'm looking forward to the match. I'm sure you'll be a topic, though, tomorrow because you said some things for Justin Parsley that I have to bring up with some things for Jovi. So you'll definitely be a topic, no question. And I'll have an announcement actually about Jovi tomorrow on the show. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow so people will tune in for that. Same time, same bad channel. And looking forward to the match. We'll certainly see what happens. Congratulations on the success. And we'll see you here after this Saturday.
Oh yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
No, it's more like it's more like thanks for. I should be thanking you for allowing me to come back onto your platform.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're welcome, Tom. You're welcome to be on the show tonight.
Thank you very much. But ladies and gentlemen, we like to have fun. That is Omen Black, though. He is not going to be having fun when it comes to decimating his opponents. He's going to definitely show them that Halloween's going to come early, and he's going to carve them like pumpkins. But he is the IMF undisputed champion. He is the holder also of the hardcore championship, as he'd like to point out. And he will be in the ring this Saturday for the IMF's latest show, A Highway to Hell. And Tone Boss is opening the show with a performance Grammy nominated artist. Please check him out. Also, go to the IMF's Facebook page to buy a ticket. Kira's Comfy Creations. Please go out and buy some of her stuff. Even Jovi and Darkline, I think, own some of that merchandise. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Your voice, figuratively and literally, with all music and wrestling matters. And if you're here on Sportswire Radio, hit the sub button for the IMF. You can like, share some of our content. We'll see you tomorrow night. And Zilla wants you and Jack Delta to be a tag team. So
see, it's a dangerous team. That's a dangerous group of guys right there.
I tell you what, stay tuned. To quote James Taylor, never say never, but there can't be no other way. But I'm sure he'll be lurking eventually soon. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio, that is Sportswire Radio, with all music and wrestling. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.